Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Chill Peasy, we got Jacob, we got Rufflo, we got Jacob, Spider, John, Trishan. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Definitely do me a huge favor. Smack the like button here on your way in. Today, we're going to be talking about the best of the red and white practice that we ended up seeing today. I was a little late to the red and white practice. I thought it was actually going to start on the normal time. The training camp actually starts at 1:50. I had a couple other things to do here in my personal life, and then when I re-looked, I was like, oh, snap, this thing starts at 1:15. So I had to rush. Thankfully, I only live like 10 minutes away from the stadium, which is thankfully for me. But I ended up rushing on over there and I was able to catch the good majority of stuff that I wanted to see, right? Like, obviously, there's a lot of drills that are really beneficial to watch, which are going to be the side drills with the defensive line and the offensive line. And they got really, really into it today. And in terms of like them really trying to fine tune skills, they were doing it today. Like, it was really good to see. But obviously, I'm really there for the 11 on 11s and the 7 on 7s because obviously, what you can see on there, that is going to be the next step of what the Arizona Cardinals could potentially, be or what they look like here in 2025. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. We're mainly going to be talking about obviously the red and white practice and a couple observations that I ended up seeing today. I want to go and say one thing: the red and white practice is it almost kind of feels a little odd to me because like I've been through most of the practice. I think I missed two practices that were open to the public, not exclusive for anybody. I think I missed two practices and they were padded. But this red and white practice is an event, right? It's one of those things that people come and bring their families to. And I kid you not, I actually heard some people out there that thought that this was an actual game. No, it's just an event that happens every single year. It did not disappoint. It's one of those things that the Arizona Cardinals always put on for their fans to give a glimpse and a kind of taste of what the 2025 Arizona Cardinals is going to look like. But I have seen more, I guess, physical, practices since the ones I went to, but nevertheless, right, this is exactly what you expect to see in the training camp days of the Cardinals. So overall, we saw a lot of good things, right? And we're going to be diving into today. I guess the biggest star that came out of the red and white practice was probably Will Johnson. And for the people that watch the Arizona Cardinals or off-season content, that's probably no shock to you, but there was a really good play from Will Johnson picking off Kyler Murray, and it was just one of those things that justified all those people fighting for Will Johnson being a first round pick, and all those people justifying, or those Arizona Cardinal fans justifying to the Cardinals organization that you need to go after this guy, right? You need to go after this guy. Yes, he slipped. There was some concerns with the knee, but overall, he's done nothing but looked very, very good. Now, obviously, with the Starling Thomas, the fifth injury that ended up happening, it gives a younger cornerback an opportunity to take that role. And I think it's going to be obvious that Will Johnson will be getting thrown probably in week one, if not week one, that he's probably going to split with somebody, maybe a veteran in terms of reps, but he'll find his way in terms of being a full-time starter by midway through the season. If not midway through the season, then definitely towards the end of the season. But this guy is pretty darn NFL ready, and he's as ready as they come, right? Of course, Garrett Williams is also going to be one of those guys as well. And of course, Max Melton going into his year two. But overall, this was a very fun event to go to. Like I said, a lot of family members going up and down. I wasn't able to get a lot of the clips because, like I said, I was actually late to this event. So I wasn't able to get to my usual spot, which is like the second row. I'm usually at the 45-yard line, kind of like to see where they line up and kind of get my own angles and kind of show some clips from there. But the biggest highlight that I ended up seeing today was obviously the Will Johnson pick, which we will be seeing. Shout out here to Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports, which that's where I got this clip here on my X/Twitter page. But what they were working on a lot, with the addition of the solo drills, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, trying to obviously fine tune their craft, was they were working a lot on red zone drills. They were hammering those red zone drills, right? Every quarterback got an opportunity. Kyler, Brissett, as well as Tune. Everybody got a fair chance to get a glimpse of what they can do if they are in the red zone. And I feel like that is definitely obviously necessary, right? We've seen Greg Dortch get involved. We've seen Zay Jones get a touchdown from Kyler Murray as well. These are the reps that are very crucial. Now, if you guys did not know, what I feared yesterday, in terms of like Michael Wilson not practicing today, it came to fruition. Michael Wilson was not there today due to the injury that ended up happening yesterday. Fortunately, Buda Baker was there. I'm telling you, Buda Baker's a freaking Iron Man, man. Buda Baker's a freaking Iron Man. But yes, Michael Wilson wasn't there. Marvin Harrison Jr. now missed his third straight day. I'm assuming it's going to be with knee soreness, just like Jonathan Gannon ended up saying. Calais Campbell had an off day. James Conner had an off day. So it's not like one of those things where, you know, don't worry about James Conner or don't worry about Calais Campbell. They were just off days. But JG also did say like don't panic, right? Like they're going to be okay. And he's probably talking about Marv as well as Michael Wilson. So for what it's worth, we weren't able to see the full squad of the 2025 Arizona Cardinals, which is unfortunate. But one player, right? We mentioned this probably about 2 or 3 minutes ago. One player that you're really going to have to give your flowers over to is this young man right here. This young man right here. This guy has done wonders and shown really good things here in today's red and white practice. And I'm going to show you, man. I'm going to show you this play because it was exciting. It was fun. It got a lot of the Cardinal fans excited, right? They're like, "Oh snap!" Because this guy was supposed to be a first round talented guy, right? In Will Johnson. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Like I said, shout out here to Tyler Drake, but this is the play that I was talking about that he ended up picking Kyler Murray, and it was a really, really, really good pick. Check it out. Kyler Murray tosses it, supposed to go to Zay Jones, but Will Johnson comes down with it. Like, this defense is going to be so freaking special. And you could have a rookie make a big impact, right? Especially when you got the pieces that the Cardinals got in this offseason. Just check this out, man. Good God. Now, granted, that's not against Marvin. That's not against Michael Wilson. That's against Zay Jones, which is arguably probably a third wide receiver of the Cardinals. But overall, that was just a fantastic play. Like a fantastic play by Will Johnson. And look at that, man. You got Buda Baker celebrating. You got all the defense kind of surrounding him because it's a big moment. It really is. And not just that, there was a clip floating around, and I believe it was from Darren Urban. We saw Kyler Murray basically talking to, Will Johnson, and I'm assuming giving kudos, right? I'm assuming kind of giving, um, some sort of, hey, good job, right? And I'm assuming that that's exactly what it was. But let me see if I can find that clip here. But Darren Urban, writer of the Arizona Cardinals, he ended up catching Kyler Murray go over to Will Johnson or having a conversation, and I'm only assuming he's probably saying good play, right? This is it right here. Kyler Murray and Will Johnson communicating right here. And he writes, Kyler Murray comes over to Will Johnson, his props after his interception. It was a good interception, man. It really was. It was a really good play. I don't think Kyler Murray forced it. I think he probably saw the right read. It's just the defense made a really good play. Like, that was a fantastic play by Will. And just what we need to talk about is just the intangibles and the awareness and just the athletic ability to do what he's doing in year one. Like, that's exactly what we should be talking about here, right? Giving the flowers to the young man because he absolutely deserves it. But overall, an absolute fantastic play by Will Johnson. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Like I said, I was really, really excited about the Will Johnson pick. Let's put it this way. I was more excited about Will Johnson in the second round than I was in Walter Nolan. And I'm not sure if you guys remember the reaction, but I was kind of more in shock because I thought we were going to go edge. But, now doing a deep dive into Walter Nolan, I hope he plays this year. I really do. I hope we can go ahead and get Walter Nolan on the field sooner rather than later. Of course, be very, very smart with him. We don't want to be living in a world where we're having deja vu and having the same rookie year as Darius Robinson, right? In terms of only having like a 5 or 6 game sample size. We want to see a good sample size of Walter Nolan, but this second round pick of Will Johnson was just absolutely phenomenal in what he's absolutely doing. We got my glorious demon. Absolutely. This guy is just doing nothing but killing it, man. And he's not always running with the ones, right? Depending on the package of the defense. If you're dealing with the base package with only like 2 cornerbacks on the field, you do see Garrett Williams on the outside as well. So it's not uncommon for Garrett Williams to be on the outside. We have heard that Jonathan Gannon come out and say that there were plays last year because he's mainly listed as a corner or a nickel corner that they took him off the field. But that's definitely something that they're evaluating this year, right? They're evaluating, why are we taking our best corner off the field? He can play outside if need be. So if it comes down to those, 2 corners base package for the Arizona Cardinals defense, it probably will be Garrett Williams and maybe Max Melton for now, right? But we'll have to kind of wait and see how it shakes out. But I'm excited, man. I'm really, really excited. John says the no-fly zone has returned. Well, I mean, I remember a lot of Cardinal fans, for some reason, And I don't know who really started this narrative, but people were not wanting, like, they wanted to trade away Jalen Thompson. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't know where this thing came from. It maybe might have been an attempt to save cap, right? And it probably was somebody's opinion that maybe people wrote on because you could save a good, amount of cap space. But the no-fly zone, you can't have it without Jalen Thompson. Like, I'm going to be real here. Jalen Thompson and Buda Baker back there are probably one of the best safety duos in the NFL. Like, one of them. I'm not saying they're number one. I'm not saying they're number two, not number three, but they're definitely up there in terms of top five, top safety duos. They don't get a lot of respect. And I'm talking about the duo. Buda Baker gets a lot of respect, obviously, but the duo because they play for the Arizona Cardinals. But that tandem is wonderful. We were expecting cornerbacks. We got Garrett Williams going into his year 3. Max Melton going to his year 2, and now Will Johnson doing nothing but shining in these practices and getting a lot of Arizona Cardinals fans really, really excited about. So I'm happy that Jalen Thompson is still a Cardinal. This guy can continue to ball. I do want to see Dadrian Taylor-Demerson. I really do. And I know the Cardinals want to give him an opportunity as well, but if you got a veteran that's still doing it at the high level that Jalen Thompson is, you don't release somebody to save $5, $6, $7 million of cap. You don't. Like, you want to have ballers. You want to have players on this defense. And I'm so glad the Arizona Cardinals did not do that, because that was just from the get not a good thing to do to save some cap space. And like, it's not smart. I'm glad they kept him. I'm glad he's a focal point on this defense, but I agree. The potential of no-fly zone might be a real thing here with the continuation of this secondary and just getting better and better and better. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Ruffalo says McBride will dominate this season. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. We didn't see a good majority of Trey McBride today. Or at least I didn't really kind of see a lot of stuff from Trey McBride. Keep in mind, I was a little late to the party. I thought it started at 150, but no, it actually started at 115. So I was a little late to the party when it comes down to that. But I didn't see a lot of Trey McBride. But with what I've seen since I've been there, man, like, Trey McBride he's just doing Trey McBride things. Like, Trey McBride has been a man to always talk about every single practice. Absolutely. He's going to dominate this season. No doubt. I'm excited about what he's going to do for the Cardinals. Gary in the chat says the backup offense looked bad. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Are you talking about Tune when Tune came out, like the third stringers, or are you talking about the second stringers? Clarify for me, Gary, if you can. Are you talking about the second stringers or the third stringers? Because if you're talking about the third stringers, I mean, it's going to be a world where, like, it's really no point of talking about them because they probably won't see the light of day. Like your Tajon Palmer is not going to get reps over Dortch, is not going to get reps over Zay Jones, right? They're not going to get those reps over those guys, right? And of course, not over Marvin, not over Michael Wilson. So if you're talking about the third stringers, I mean, yeah, I guess you can point that out, but at the end of the day, it's like, really not, I guess, nothing really just to squabble about, like, or really kind of talk about. Now, if you're talking about the second stringers with Brissett, I don't know. I mean, maybe today didn't look as sharp, but keep in mind that the defense is absolutely upgraded, right? Night and day better from 2023 to 2024 and now 2025. Like, they have absolutely upgraded this defense. And it's showing. It's showing. You're not going to sit in the pocket for 3, 4, 5 seconds anymore. It ain't going to happen. You're going to get pressure from Josh Sweat. You're going to get pressure from Calais. You're going to get pressure from Dalvin Tomlinson. You're going to get pressure from Zaven Collins, right? Dante Stills, which is a guy that, is now starting to finally get talked about, right? Now starting to finally get talked about a little bit more and more and more. But since I've been to training camp, Dante Stills has been a fantastic player, man. Dante Stills has been a fantastic player, and I think he's kind of fell victim to the situation of how deep this defensive line class or this defensive line group is. He's falling victim to it. Now, is he going to get an opportunity? Yeah. The Cardinals do a good job to rotate guys, to keep fresh, right? So we're going to see Dante Stills. Absolutely. So that, it's one of those things, but we're going to have to kind of wait and see how it all shakes out. But overall, a really good experience, man. Really good experience. I had fun. In the red and white practice, you can definitely tell that a lot of families were there. You could definitely tell there was a lot of people going back and forth up the steps to try to keep their children, occupied, right, of what's going on, especially the little babies out there. But everybody was there to have a good time. I was there to watch football, to see, what got better. And overall, the player of the day, man, the player of the day has to be Will Johnson. You know what I mean? The player of the day has to be Will Johnson, and it's not even freaking close. Like, this guy is shown nothing but good things since he's been drafted to the Arizona Cardinals. And just for the sake of sakes, another shout out to my guy Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports with this great clip here from Will Johnson picking off Kyler Murray. Like, and this ball was going over to Zay Jones. Look, woof. Out route, Zay Jones jumps it. My goodness. Good Lord. Dante Stills right there. Buddha, Garrett, Mac. Everybody's excited for the rookie, man. And as they should. Great play. Great overall play. There was a lot of people there, 100%. I was actually very proud of the Cardinals fan base, 110%. I was very, very proud of the Arizona Cardinals fan base for showing up. They packed the house. Now, obviously, not every single, like, the lower level looked pretty darn, like, compared to your Thursdays, Wednesdays, and Mondays and Tuesdays practice. Obviously, it's between the week. You're not going to go to those games, especially because a lot of people actually work those days. But, like, they showed out, man. Like, a lot of fans came out and they showed out. So yeah, it was, I would say a packed house. Like, if I were to put a number on it, easily over 5,000 people. Easily over 5,000 people. Maybe even more than that. Maybe even more than that. But yeah, everybody's excited to kind of see what the 2025 Arizona Cardinals has to offer. And this is what I say all the time. Like, you can listen to people that podcast, you can listen to people like these national narratives out there, but I challenge y'all to go out yourself, right? To go out to one of these practices and put your own flavor on it, right? Because everybody's going to have a different spin on something, right? Everybody can break down one specific piece of film and come out with 4 or 5 or 20 different ways of looking at things, right? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think this Arizona Cardinal team defensively looks pretty darn legit. I think this Arizona Cardinals offense, if we can stay consistent, can be pretty darn solid. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say Super Bowl team. No. Obviously, there's a much more teams that are out there that are more better equipped. I still think that we are a wide receiver away. I still do think that we are potentially a middle linebacker away, right? But overall, all the players here are nothing but glowing remarks. Nothing but glowing remarks about the sky's the limit of what this team could accomplish here in 2025. And let's listen in, because they're the ones that they're on the field, right? They're the ones that are on the field. But yeah, there's a lot of people out today. I'm really, really excited about what 2025 can hold for us. Vipe in the chat. When's Marv coming back to training camp? JG made it seem like it's going to happen soon. He didn't give a definite date, but this is the 3rd straight day that Marvin Harrison Jr. did not participate in practice today. It was unfortunate, absolutely, but it is smart to be smart with Marvin. It's smart to be smart with Marvin Harrison Jr., especially when you got him with the 4th overall pick and he's supposed to take or make a very, very, he's supposed to be a big focal point in this offense. So Jonathan Gannon made it seem like, don't worry about it, right? And I'm talking about the 2 wide receivers that weren't there, Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. He might be coming back sooner rather than later, right? He might be coming back sooner rather than later. Did I expect him to miss 3 days? I didn't, but if they're going to be smart and he's going to be healthy for 2025, I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with it. We've seen a lot of Marvin redefine who he is from 2024 to 2025 with adding the muscle and the plays that he's making in training camp with the one-handed catches, the contorting his body, the throwing his body to make a catch. It's enough for me to say, you need to take some time off for a sore knee. That's fine, right? That's fine. Michael Wilson, on the other hand, a really nasty hit that ended up happening yesterday. Obviously, prayers up to Michael Wilson. It almost kind of feels like it might have been some sort of maybe head concussion injury, right? Because he hit Buda Baker hard, right? Buda Baker's a Terminator. Buda Baker's an Iron Man. He jumps up really, really quickly after a stretch or two. But yeah, Michael Wilson did not participate in practice today either. And it's no surprise to me, right? It's one of those things that we all kind of saw coming. So we didn't really get a glimpse of what this offense today, number one offense today, could potentially be, right? We didn't really get a glimpse of it. So TBD. We'll have to kind of wait and see how it shakes out. Continue with the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Continue with the comments. Right now, we are sitting with close to 50 people here on the YouTube side. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. Smack the like button here on your way in. If this is your first time here, welcome into the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are actually currently right now, I just got word that we got a sponsor for 2025. So you'll be getting to know what our sponsorships are going to be looking like here in 2025. More details, TBD. Once the season starts, you're probably going to see a little bit more kind of overlays and stuff like that. But yeah, smack the like button. We are on the road to 17K as well. Can't do it without you guys. So go ahead and smack the like button and subscribe if this is your first time here. Appreciate y'all up and foremost. Appreciate it. Let's keep it going with the comments. RC3, what's up, buddy? We'll be fine. We're just overwhelmed and trying to prove each other that we're aggressive this year. Are you referring to the guys that were hurt? I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about it, to be honest with you. I'm not worried about Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm a little bit more worried about Michael Wilson. I think he most likely will be available by week 1, but I do want to see them in training camp. Like, I want to see these guys in training camp. Training camp. Wow. Sorry. I want to see them in preseason. I want to see them in preseason. Even if it's a 1 drive, 2 drives, a game, I feel like it's very important for the Cardinals offense to come on the field and move the ball down on a defense that they don't know, right? Because you can practice, you can do all these different things, but every rep is so unique to the personnel, to the play, to the players that are on the field. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals need to get multiple different looks on what they're trying to accomplish. So I think it's very beneficial. Even like I said last year, and a lot of people were telling me no, that they shouldn't last year because they want to keep everybody healthy, but we saw it. We saw the rust. We saw the miscommunications, right? We saw those things in the first several weeks that didn't really get 110% cleaned up in the end of the season, but got a little bit better, right? So I feel like it's important for the Cardinals to start their players, even if it's a drive or two, in preseason. Now, we don't know yet. We don't know what's going to hold for preseason. All I can say right now is that I hope we get some sort of information by maybe next week, because first preseason game is this Saturday. A week from today, ladies and gentlemen. A week from today starts the preseason for the Cardinals versus the Chiefs. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is going to be very, very fun. Saturday, August 9th, 5 p.m. We will be live streaming, doing a live play-by-play. So if you do not have a place to go, if you don't have a place to hang out, if you don't have any friends that love Cardinal football, you have a place to go here in the AZ Sports Fan. All on this channel, we will be doing a live play-by-play. Well, I'll be doing my best with a lot of players I probably don't know, but we're going to be doing our best to call in, do instant reactions, that type of thing. So, yeah, smack the like button here. Subscribe. We are on the road to 17K. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep it going with the chat. We got Brett Jones. What's up, Brett? Mac Wilson got a little banged up early in practice. Benson was in early. Then I didn't see him during 11s. Man, seems like we're getting banged up and beyond defensive line. That is concerning. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Honestly, thanks for bringing this to light, to be honest with you, because I didn't even notice that he wasn't there. Now you're mentioning that, I think when my mind saw that we were passing the ball to Zay Jones and Greg Dortch, my mind didn't even correlate to see what that running back was. But you're right. We did see more DeMarcado. We did see the other guys that were out there that were not Trey Benson. So very good call out there, Brett. I didn't actually even think to look, but yeah, good call out. Mac Wilson did get a little banged up a little earlier in practice. I did see him towards the tail end as well. So obviously, I'm excited about Mac Wilson Sr. is going to be a really good piece on the middle of the defensive line, but good call out for Trey Benson. Let's hope, fingers crossed, because right now we are out Marv and we're out Michael Wilson. And here's the thing, too, right? We did not upgrade our offense very much. I do think it's time for the Arizona Cardinals to start looking somewhere to potentially have some sort of backup plan, right? Because Amari Cooper is still out there, right? Keenan Allen's still out there. Now, obviously, it depends on the status of what Michael Wilson's going to be, but I would hope the Cardinals can look that direction. Will they? It's a kind of wait and see type of situation. Money, 200K. What's up? If it don't take nothing back a second for somebody to get injured, Don't take nothing back a second for somebody to get injured. Um, I don't know what that means. Maybe we're responding to somebody. Oh, okay, here we go. Don't take no chances playing our starters at all. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this at all. I would like to see our starters. I feel like it's very beneficial. And here's the thing: you don't need to put them out there for a quarter. Nobody's saying have a full quarter for these starters, or at least I'm not saying. Right? I'm not saying put a full starter for these starters. But I think it's very beneficial. I don't want to have rust, especially on a game that seems to be a winnable game versus the Saints in week one. You got to take care of business on the road. You got to take care of business. I feel like it's very much, there's a lot of benefits. Patrick Mahomes does it every single year, right? I feel like there's a lot of benefits to it. Brett on the chat says, don't think you will see many offensive starters in preseason. I hope that's not the case. You might be right, and you might, Jonathan Gannon might decide to do this specifically because we are dealing with these injuries that are, kind of freak accidents, especially because of Michael Wilson. He was healthy until that bang up that ended up happening. I disagree, right? Respectfully, I disagree. I think that they should practice or they should have some sort of snaps in preseason personally. Now, like I said, we're sitting after, what is it, day 8, day 9 of training camp of the red and white practice. I think there's a lot of benefits to it. But like I said, agree to disagree. Cards fan says, I think a quarter is fine, not a half. Oh, no, I'm not even looking for a quarter. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not even looking for a quarter. I feel like what the Cardinals should do is that they should throw their starters out. And if it's a 3 and out, throw them back in for a second drive. If that second drive doesn't work, pull them out if you need to. But it gives you something to really kind of get working, right? Get these juices flowing because the regular season is going to come at you hard, right? It's regular season is going to come at you so hard that, you're expected to win on the road versus the Saints. They're not a good team, but guess what? New Orleans is not a friendly place to play. Like, and I mean, like, it seemed to be one of those very, very intimidating stadiums, very dark over there in the Superdome. I'm not even sure it's called the Superdome anymore, but it's a very intimidating place to go, right? Especially week one. Those Saints fans are going to come in here with a lot of passion, a lot of hope, because week one, everybody has hope, right? So I feel like it's very beneficial. If the Cardinals go into week one of preseason and they have their starters go up the field and score a touchdown, then you don't need to throw them for a second drive. No, I feel like they did good. Now let's talk about week two. That's how I feel like they should do this. If the Cardinals offense goes in there and does a really good job in their first drive, moves the ball down the field, gets points, whether it's a field goal or whether it's a touchdown, then pull them out. You don't need to see them for 2 drives. But if they have a 3 and out, throw them back out there and have more reps. Like, there's so much benefit to this. And we can't always play scared. We can't. Injuries are going to happen. That's football. Football is a very physical sport that if you get hit a certain way, a certain millimeter, right? A drag down, things can happen. It's football. So you got to get ready for the sport. And I feel like it's very much beneficial. I said the same thing last year, and the Cardinals didn't do it, and they struggled mightily on the offensive side of the ball. Now, the second half, we all know how that collapse ended up happening, going 2-5 at the second half of the season. No bueno, right? No bueno. But right now, we can only kind of control what we can control. We got the Saints and we got the Panthers week 1 and week 2. You got to come out of that stretch at least 1-1, preferably 2-0, right? Preferably 2-0. I don't want to lose against Bryce Young again, but we got to at least have a 1-1 stretch. Like I said, 2-0 preferably, but we know how the NFL is, and we know how the Panthers usually always beat us, unfortunately. Chef, what's up, Chef? Says, what's up, Mike? What's going on, man? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, because I am. Cards fan in the chat says, yup, Saints fans are Cowboys fans of Temu. Love it. Well, let's be real. Every week one, every fan base has excitement. Every week one, every fan base has a chance to win the Lombardi, right? Every fan base has a chance, and they all have hopefulness. So, I mean, they're going to come with passion. They're going to come in being loud, right? Especially if the Arizona Cardinals offense can't get going. That's a very, very intimidating place to go, especially on the road. You're expecting to win. You're the Arizona Cardinals going into year 3. There's no reason why you should lose against the Saints. There isn't. But it's football. Any given Sunday. We'll have to kind of wait and see. Jeffrey in the chat. What's up, Jeffrey? Our second stringers can beat the Saints. I love the optimism. I love the optimism. This is the mindset that we should have going into week 1. This is the mindset we should be going to week 1. Martin in the chat says, any news of Marvin Harrison Jr.? The only thing that we heard from Jonathan Gannon today was that like he made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. Let me actually play you the clip here real quick. 1 second. Let me play you the clip. This is Jonathan Gannon talking today before training camp. So he didn't really give an update per se, but if you listen in like deeply, you can kind of, I guess, get some sort of understanding of what he's saying. So let's dive into it.
James Conner, we're going to let him have the day off, and Calais, we're going to let have the day off. So those two kind of just vet maintenance. The other guys should be getting back here pretty soon. Nothing to worry about.
There you go.
From Michael, it seemed like one of those.
Hear that? Nothing to worry about, he says. So I'm gonna hopefully, put all my eggs in a basket and hopefully that we don't have anything to worry about, right? I think they want to be smart with Marvin. I really do. I think the knee soreness is a real thing. But I think they just want to be smart with Marv. I'm a little bit more worried about Michael Wilson. I'm a little bit more worried about him. Not that he won't be ready by week 1, but maybe we might not see him in preseason. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. But per Jonathan Gannon, it seems like it's going to be okay, right? Like it's going to be okay. We'll see though. RC3, this is the year for everything to click from the trenches, coaches, judgment, determined players, and finishing the second half strong. Praying Kyler becomes consistent this year. We've been talking about this from the jump. Me and you, RC3, we've been talking about this from the jump, and I 110% agree with you. This is going to be a very defining year of this organization and really kind of come down to what happens, right? What happens? Because this is one of those things that this year can either break this rebuild, right? Or at least this is not a rebuilding squad anymore, but like this new regime, or it can catapult us to finally being that team that everybody's stopped sleeping on, right? Because we're still a team. We're still a team that's people are sleeping on right now. And I'm not going to come out here and ask for respect. It's not our job to do that as Cardinal fans, but it's this team's job to come out here and ask for that respect, because we talked about this yesterday's podcast. Do you remember where the ESPN ranked Jonathan Gannon and crew, right? Jonathan Gannon and the rest of the coordinators that they have, they ranked them number 23. Out of 32 teams, Jonathan Gannon was ranked number 23. So, no, there's no respect, right? There's no respect right now for the Cardinals. They got to earn it, right? They got to earn that respect. Keep it with the comments here. You guys are coming up, flooding the comments. Appreciate y'all. The Truth. What's up, The Truth? Connor is getting old. I like him, but he doesn't have much on his time. I mean, Connor looks good. In training camp, he looks good. Now, am I worried that he's going to stay healthy? That's a different story, right? I still do think that Connor will run as hard as he can as long as he has one leg on him. As long as he has one leg on him, he's going to run through a brick wall for Jonathan Gannon and his offense, right? I truly believe that James Conner is that guy. Now, health. Am I worried about health? Yes, of course. There's a little bit worriness about when it comes down to the health position of James Conner. With what we've seen, James Conner does not have a healthy track record, right? He doesn't. Now, can Trey Benson take that next step? That's what we're hoping for, right? I remember when we drafted him and I made a video. This is a home run. This is a home run pick right here. We got ourselves RB1 for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if he can stay healthy, Jonathan Gannon feels like we got 2 number 1 guys, right? Jonathan Gannon feels like we have 2 number 1 running backs in James Conner and Trey Benson. He said it himself out of his own lips, out of his own mouth. He feels that way. But unless they split carry and share the reps of a 55-45 split, it's sometimes very hard for Trey Benson to make that jump, right? And in the other coin, we have seen Trey Benson get hurt. We saw Trey Benson get hurt last year, which obviously sucks because he's your number 2 running back. And now in training camp, I think he might have got some sort of a nick again, right? I think he might have got some sort of nick again. Let me see if there's any updates here. 1 second. Let me see if I can find anything on Trey Benson. Even James Conner came out and says we have two RB1s, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think Trey Benson, if he can stay healthy, can be a really good player for the Cardinals. Really, really good player for the Cardinals. James Conner equals Terminator Killer. Love it. Bring back the shame belt. I still got it.
Shame.
I still got it. I haven't been able. No, actually, I used it. I did use it. I used it, yes, a couple days back. I used the shame bell on the Cincinnati Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Commanders. I used the shame bell on them. So I still got it. I still got it. Adrian in the chat, did you see Quez Watkins going to IR? I told you. Quez Watkins did not get much attention, but I noticed that when I was there, yikes. Wow. I did not see that he went on IR. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate it. I did see when I was in practice that Quez Watkins got hurt. I did see that Quez Watkins left the practice early, and I posted it on my X and Twitter, and I posted it on my Instagram as well, that it's definitely something to keep your eye on. I did not know he went on IR. 4 hours ago, Adam Schefter did say that Quez Watkins goes to IR, and they ended up signing wide receiver Nate Collum. I mean, I would rather see the Arizona Cardinals sign Keenan Allen. I would rather see the Arizona Cardinals sign Amari Cooper. Because I'm going to be real. I don't know who Nate Collum is. No clue who that is. But yeah, Quez Watkins, we talked about him, at least for the past couple days, that I did notice he did not finish a practice. So I kind of saw it coming. I kind of saw it coming. Here we go. The truth, with all due respect, man. With all due respect, right? Appreciate you for being here. I got to use it. RC3 said it. Shame it.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Sorry, the truth. I had to. All fun and games, man. All fun and games. I appreciate you for being here up and foremost. But yes, thanks for letting me know. I did not even catch that. Adam Schefter did report that Quez Watkins is going to IR, and they are signing wide receiver Nate McCollum. Unfortunately, I don't really know what that means for the Cardinals. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Cards fan says, was Watkins having a good camp? It was decent. But the thing is that with Watkins, he wasn't with the twos. He wasn't with the twos consistently. He was rolling with the threes for the most part. Every once in a while, you see him with the twos. You don't really see Quez Watkins with the ones. You don't really see it. And we did hear Jonathan Gannon come out and say that, don't pay attention to, the twos, the threes, and the ones, and who's rolling with everybody, right? Right? We did hear that. But at the other side of the coin, I mean, Quez Watkins was brought in to hopefully be some sort of speedy guy, but I don't think he was going to have a number one starting role with the Cardinals. You're not going to beat out Zay Jones. You're not going to beat out Greg Dortch, right? Those are the number 3 guys right now, unless the Cardinals do something else, right? So they're probably thinking, you lost wide receiver number 6 or 7. Let's bring in another wide receiver that's potentially going to be 6 or 7, right? Like I said, I would rather us bring in a Keenan or an Amari, but that's going to be one of those things where we'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? The truth.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay. I'm sorry. I had to, brother. I had to. Thanks for coming here. Appreciate you guys. All good and fun, right? We got the season around the corner. Everybody's excited. I got to use the soundboard sometimes. Sometimes I forget that I have that soundboard, so I got to go ahead and bring my best out there. I got to bring my best. All right, let's keep it going with the chat. You guys are all absolutely wonderful for being here. Smack the like button. Thank you guys. Smack it up. And subscribe. We're on the road to 17K. I think we're like less than 20 or 30 away. Like we're less than 20 and 30 subscribers away from 17K, ladies and gentlemen. It can happen. It can happen. Get closer to God. What's up? Get the Birdman meme when he says, "Put some respect in my name." I probably should. I probably should. That's a good suggestion. Good suggestion. They're hating on the Arizona Cardinals getting off us. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The respect is always going to be like that. It's going to be like that till the Cardinals prove that they are a consistent team and not a rebuilding team every 3 or 4 or 5 years, right? If the Cardinals stop rebuilding every 3 or 4 or 5 years and are a consistent team, then things can be better on the national media. But they look at us as a organization that's just in flux every single time, right? And I don't blame them, right? I don't blame them. I think Jonathan Gannon is 12-22, if I can remember correctly, being the head coach of the Cardinals. That's not good, right? Mike McDonald is already a 10-digit or 10 or double-digit head coach in season 1. So, of course, they're going to look at that and they're going to look at Jonathan Gannon and they're going to compare. It's the way it is. How was training camp today? It was solid. It was solid. But you can definitely tell the environment, man. You can definitely tell the environment that this was not just for, like, it was for everybody to join, right? Like, people brought their families. It was an event. You saw multiple people kind of talking about their lives. I literally, I kid you not, I at least heard 3 people. Kid you not, I heard at least 3 people today. 3 people today say, "Wait, this is not a game." Wait, this is not a football game. Kid you, 3 people, and I was sitting in one spot, so I wasn't like roving around. But 3 people say, "Wait, this is not a game. This is practice." Yeah, yeah. But like these type of events bring in those fans that don't really pay attention to the off-season things, right? They just want to see the product. They want to see what was built and not really care about the bells and whistles and how we got here, right? So that's what this event was. It was really hard to focus on game or what was going on because where I was sitting and I came in late. I thought this practice was starting at 1:50, but it actually started at 1:15. That's on me. That's my fault. But I was late, so I wasn't in the front or second row like I usually am. You saw multiple people go up and down, up and down, up and down. It was just a constant people going up and down, up and down. So it was cool. It was fun. But you could definitely tell that it was an event, right? Hopefully that makes sense of what I'm trying to say. But it was cool. It was fun. Brett in the chat, Kyler's pick today happened right in front of me. He just threw it up. Can't do that. I mean, here's the thing, right? We all know I'm not going to say flaws, or at least I do, right? I might be one of the only very few people out there that has some sort of, I'm not even going to say following, but I guess some sort of following that has been very critical on our current franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray. I want him to succeed. People don't understand that I truly want him to succeed. But what number one thing we need to see is consistency. We need to see some consistency with our quarterback play. And no, it's not all Kyler. It's not. Pessing's involved, right? The offensive line is involved. But of course, when you're the quarterback of an Arizona or of a football team, you get the flowers and then you get the blame. It's just the way it is. The first 6 weeks, the first half, everyone was talking about Kyler Murray and MVP because we were 6-4, right? We were 6-4. So who was the MVP? Not James Conner, not Marvin, not Trey McBride. It was Kyler Murray. Those are the conversations that are having. So that role of being a quarterback, you got to understand what comes with it, right? You got to understand what comes with that type of role. You're going to be praised when you do good, and you're going to get crapped on when you don't do good, right? And sometimes it's not even fully your fault. That's the way that it is. It's the way that it is. It's the NFL. Not for long league, Jonathan Gannon said. So we'll see. Rob in the chat says Terry McLaurin still wants a trade. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about Terry McLaurin for, I'm only assuming, months now. Because before this whole conversation even happened within the last couple of days, we all talked about it. This could be a real thing. And I remember a lot of Commanders fans coming in. A lot of Commanders fans coming in and says he's not going anywhere, right? He's not going anywhere. Well, guess what? guess what? We're less than a week away from preseason. Less than a week away from preseason, and we still don't have a resolution on Terry McLaurin. He can definitely potentially get. He can leave. He requested a trade already. Now we've seen multiple people request trades and they don't leave. Right? We've seen that. Right? We've seen it before. But on the other side of the coin, this can be a real thing, man. It's gonna be a real thing. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Let's keep it with the comments. Andy in the chat. What's up, Andy? Appreciate you for being here. Love your picture. Marvin and Larry all in the picture with my guy Andy. He says this, our friend. Dyslexia, I'm telling you.
You lose.
Good. All right. Let's run that back. Andy in the chat says, our defense, I'm not worried. More about our offense because of K1. Can be good and bad at times. He's not consistent. Yeah, I mean, 100%. You're not wrong. Not wrong. Cardinals are... Good God. We're really talking about birds here. We're really talking about birds. I mean, the only thing I can hope is that we sweep the Seattle Seahawks. I would love nothing more than to sweep the Seattle Seahawks, than nothing more than love to sweep the Los Angeles Rams, and nothing more than to, again, sweep the 49ers, right? That's our hope and prayer that can get to us one day. Fingers crossed. We'll see. But yeah, best player all camp today. Best player all camp right here. Will Johnson. It ain't even close. This kid is special, man. This kid is special. Oh, chosen one. No, you didn't.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Chosen one. Can't do that to me, man. You can't do it. All right, I'm not even gonna humor it. Trey Jordan Birch, Randall says, and a first for Parsons. Ooh, huh? You might be onto something there, Randall. Might be onto something. It was time to cut the bait on Kyler last year. He's not good enough. No comment right now. No comment. Let's keep it going here. We got my guy today. Today's a good day. Haha. See Mike online because when Mike live chat, I'm working. Good. Well, I appreciate it. Can be some sort of little entertainment. RC3 says, I like our chances in the franchise now, rather being Cincinnati. So you're saying you like us now compared to Cincinnati? Like the Bengals? I mean, as long as you have Joe Burrow, man, that organization can go on a Super Bowl run. Read a couple more comments here, and we will be closing up shop. Up and foremost, thank you guys so much for being here. We're sitting with 60 people here on the YouTube side. Smack the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smack the like button. You probably, if you're not subscribed, you're probably not able to engage in the chat because we do have a very exclusive subscribers. You got to be a subscriber to get engaged in the chat, like to have a conversation. So subscribe it up. A lot of people out there like to hover. A lot of people like to kind of look through the bushes. Join the family. Join the family. Every single video we put out, at least 40% of y'all ain't subscribed. At least 40% of y'all ain't subscribed. Subscribe it up. It's for free. Helps me out. And it lets you know when we go live, especially if you're a Cardinal fan or when we drop the next video. Go. Read a couple more comments and we're going to be closing up shop here. Uncanny. What's up, Uncanny? Uncanny says, fans of you expecting Kyler to be a top quarterback. You are a step up for depression. Kyler is better than half of the starters out there and should be top 8. This is the year to prove it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're saying if, right? If Kyler Murray is better. So I'm not 110% sure if you're saying. I'm not 100% sure what you're saying here, Uncanny. I'm just looking for consistency. That's all I'm looking for. As a Cardinal fan, I'm looking for some consistency. Right now, he is quarterback 1 for the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, yes, he is. Right? But I'm also not going to come out here and act like he's done nothing wrong. Does that make sense? Hank Hill, greetings from Goodyear, AZ. Awesome. Appreciate you, Hank Hill. Hurts to say Murray ain't it. I mean, let's just be positive. Let's do it that way. Let's be positive. Let's go into week 1, go into week 2 with thoughts and prayers that this is going to be the year that the Arizona Cardinals finally get it right. Let's do that. Let's do that. And if it doesn't happen, we reassess. And if it doesn't happen, we reassess. Let's do that. Look, if you're a Cardinal fan, let's do that. If you're not a Cardinal fan and you're just trolling and you're just trying to be here to kind of poke fun at the Cardinals fan base, then do you, right? But if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, let's go into the season with fresh eyes. Let's go into the season with hope and prayers that we can finally get the collapsing figured out at the end of the season, that we can finally go into the playoffs and win a playoff game and not crash and burn in the playoffs, right? Let's go into there. And if it doesn't happen this year, then we reassess, right? Then we reassess. I'm seeing a lot of people out there not happy already, and we haven't even started the regular season. I can definitely tell you that the Commanders fan base is much more excited about their season than we are, and rightfully so. When you have a franchise quarterback like Jaden Daniels that looks as good as he did in year 1, there's a lot of optimism going into year 2. A lot. So let's see. Let's see what happens. All right, couple more comments. They will be closing up shop. Law of the awe. Being negative is the in thing for the under 35 crowd. I mean, that's probably a good portion of the fan base. That's a big portion of the fan base. That's a big portion of the fan base. And guess what? I'm borderline there too. So, I mean, like I said, let's reassess. I'm not saying don't be negative throughout the season, especially if things don't go right. I'm not that guy. Right? Like let's, hey,
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
right? Okay. I'm not that guy that tells people don't feel a certain way when things are going bad. Feel it. Feel it. That's fine. I'm saying right now that we're not in the season. Right now. Let's go into the season with fresh eyes is what I'm saying. But if we start off the season at 0-2 and don't look good, or 0-3, or we start off the season at 2-3, then maybe you can go out here and, then it's justified is what I'm saying. It's justified. Dakota in the chat. I'm born and raised with Cardinals, 4 decades in Phoenix, Arizona. Dang. That's awesome, Dakota. Appreciate you for being here. All right. Well, this was the best of red and white practice. I'm going to be real. This was the best of red and white practice. It's going to be a pick from Will Johnson, 2nd round pick. Should have been 1st round pick, but it is what it is. This is the best, ladies and gentlemen, right here. The best highlight of all freaking today. Shout out to my guy Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports for catching this specific clip. But this was the best highlight all freaking game long. There was a lot of work there's a lot of work in, what am I trying to say? In the red zone. There was a lot of work in the red zone, rightfully so. The Cardinals need to get better in the red zone. So, Kyler throwing it to Dortch, Kyler throwing it to Zay Jones, completions, touchdowns, but this was definitely the highlight of the red and white practice. I ain't gonna lie right here. This is the highlight. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be closing up shop right here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you. Smack the like button. Subscribe on your way out. On the road to 17K. Cannot do it without you guys. Where are we at right now? Let's take a look here. Let's take a look where we're at. Right now we are sitting with 13 subscribers away. 13 subscribers away from the lucky 17,000 subscriber count. We're 13 subscribers away. Sheesh. I was hoping we're going to get it there. But maybe when we do the live play-by-play next week for the Cardinals starting off in week 1 versus the Chiefs, maybe we'll get it then. Fingers crossed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you for showing up. Smack the like button on your way out. Subscribe if this is your first time here. Up and foremost, you guys are all absolutely amazing. We're going to be closing up shop right here. Thank you. As all, have a great rest of your day. And go Cardinals.